Hello, greetings, my friends. How are you today? Welcome back to another weekly Patty Stamps crafting and card making video. I am very excited about this project today. I think you're going to love it. Look how cute this is. Look how cute. We are going to make this, and I'm going to tell you about some new products, and it's going to be so fun. Yay! So you might be joining me live on Facebook. If so, you're going to see the little red live button up there in the left hand corner. But you also might be watching a replay, which is totally great. You might be watching me on my blog, my YouTube channel. I am just glad that you are here. I think that is so much fun. Yay! So welcome. Hey, I see Melinda, Lena, Vicky, Catherine, Noreen, Veronica, Yvonne, Denise, Janine, Doris, Janet. Oh my goodness, so many people are joining live. Thank you so much for joining live. I really hope that you have enjoyed the weekly videos crafting with me. I've been doing these for several months, and it has been a fun way to connect with you. So I just wanted to give you a little housekeeping note. Since this coming, a week from today, next Friday is Christmas Day, and then the Friday after that is New Year's Day. I will not be doing lives on Fridays for the next 2 Fridays. So don't look for me here. You won't find a live video those 2 days. I will pop back in starting in 2021. Don't worry. But I think I will probably jump in on the 5th, which is the first day that you can earn free Sale-a-Bration gifts, which this cute paper we're stamping or we're creating with today is in here. It is like I can't show you the inside today, but when you open it up, it's on the very first page. It's on page 3. So it is called Paper Blooms. Sorry, I wish I could show you the inside, but it's a Stampin' Up policy. Until January 5th, I can't show you the inside. But anyway, we are going to be creating with this paper, as you can see here today. Very cute, very fun card. And then starting on the same day, January 5th, you can also order all of the amazing products in the new Stampin' Up! January to June mini catalog. So Stampin' Up! Is the company that I represent. If you're not familiar with that, it's card making and crafting supplies. I have been a demonstrator for over 25 years, and I love the products. I have a fun little craft room here filled with all of my fun products. If you do not already deal with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to help you. So here at pattystamps.com, that is my blog address. I have a project or a reminder or a kit, crafting tip, something for you every day of the year. So you can go to pattystamps.com for inspiration. You can also click up at the top to request a catalog. So if you don't already have a demonstrator, I would be happy to help you with your projects, your orders, your catalogs, thank you gifts, all of that good stuff. Okay, so I think we are officially over at the top of the hour now, and we have everybody jumping on live. Thank you so much again for everyone who is joining. So fun. I see Australia and Canada and US all over. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You know, just before we start making this, I was just going to say, yesterday I shared some Christmas cookie recipes on my blog, and so many of you enjoyed that. Thank you for your fun comments, and I just hope that you're having fun prepping for the holidays as well. My friend Tammy brought us 2 tins of Christmas cookies yesterday, so we are getting in the spirit here. That was very fun. Alrighty, so let's talk about this adorable card. I want to show you the inspiration for this card. I received this Christmas card in the mail about 10 days ago or so from my friend Kathy. This is not Stampin' Up! Product, but I loved the fold, and so I immediately measured it and wrote it down so that I could share it with you. I've already shared this with my team with Stampin' Up! you can join as a demonstrator and receive a discount and then be a member of a team. So I am the leader of the Love to Stamp group. And I shared this with them last week. We did this on our mystery stamping. We have a fun weekly call and we include mystery stamping. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And even though it looks like it's a large card, I just wanted to show you that it totally fits in a regular size medium Stampin' Up! Envelope. So that it's just a regular like A4 size card, which is perfect because sometimes with fun folds, you know, you worry like, oh my gosh, is this going to be too big or is it going to fit in an envelope or whatever, right? Okay, so that was my inspiration. I have known Kathy for, well, over 20 years. I don't know exactly how long. She was one of my first customers when I was a demonstrator. Isn't that fun? I love that. Okay, so let's talk about this. As I mentioned, in the Sale-a-Bration catalog, which is this small one, this is the one with your free gift choices for January 5th through February 28th. Some items are free with a $50 order. Some are free with a $100 order. This paper, called Paper Blooms, is a choice for a $50 Stampin' Up! Order. And I've just cut it down to 6 by 6. It does come 12 by 12, but just so you can see it better on the screen, I cut it down. And these are the florally patterns on one side, and then you have some more florals and some geometric type patterns on the other side. And I think this is a fabulous selection. I think it's just really beautiful. So on this card, you can see I chose this pattern for part of it. And then I chose this pattern for this front panel. And then these flowers are actually die cut out of this page and this page and this page. So I wanted to show you all of those details, show you how to cut and score this, and show you how I made these adorable flowers. Can you see the super cute stitching? Do you see all that fun stitching on all of those? That is part of the die. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, so let's go ahead and cut and score, and I'll show you how to make this, but don't let me forget. I need to tell you about a mistake in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. So if I forget, somebody, could you please remind me that I need to tell you about the mistake in the brochure, okay? All right. So this, you can make 2 cards out of one 8.5 by 11. So it would be cut in half and each one would be scored. And I'll show you how to score it. I'm going to put the measurements here on the screen so that if you want to take a screenshot, you can. Oh, I do want to mention on pattystamps.com tomorrow, December 19th, will be the still photos of this, well, the photos, and the replay of this and all the measurements and all the details, okay? So if you don't want to write all this down or whatever, tomorrow you can grab all of this off of my blog. If you wish, you can go ahead and cut your paper and score each piece. Or you can take the whole piece and you can do the 4 score marks and then cut it in half. And then you would have 2 cards ready to go. So let's look at the scoring for this. Not difficult at all. And I'll show you a tip also. So we have our base card at 8.5 by 5.5. That's what this is. Oh, and this is Seaside Spray. I should have mentioned that. Ah, I just saw that my husband is watching. He must be watching from his phone at work. Hello, husband. Okay, so 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score 4 times. 2 inches, 3 1/8. 5 3/8, and 6 1/2. Now, a lot of people say, eighths, I don't know, that kind of scares me. Let me show you a tip. I'm going to do the first one, the 2 inch. So let's score at 2 inches. And remember the gray little dealy thing, like whatever, what do you call this? It's the scoring tool. This one scores, the darker one cuts. So I move the cutting one out of the way so I don't accidentally cut my paper. Okay, so we're going to score at 2. Now we're going to slide it over to 3 1/8. Okay, so you go to 3 and then you just go to 1 little extra larger mark later. That's 3 1/8. All right. So then we are, oh, I just moved it. Sorry. There we go. 3 1/8. Okay. So 2 and 3 1/8. Now here's what I do. I take it out and I flip it and I do it again at 2 and 3 1/8. And that way I don't have to worry about pulling this arm out, measuring at 5 3/8 and 6 1/2. But you can. You could just pull this out and you could measure the next one at 5 and the next one, well, excuse me, 5 3/8, 5 3/8 and 6 1/2. You can, and it's the same thing. But I just found it easier just to worry about 2 and 3 1/8, flip it, 2 and 3 1/8. And it's the same, it's symmetrical. So there's your little tip for that part. Then we are going to fold. So let's see, I don't know if you can see. I'm just going to crease gently so you can see. So here's the middle section, and we are just going to fold backwards on both of those. So I'm folding towards the back of the card. So there's the front, and I've creased it to go back. And then these 2 extras, you're going to flip those forward and score that with your bone folder. By the way, a tip with your bone folder, if you have a Stampin' Up! Bone folder that has a logo or any other brand that has a logo, my recommendation is not to use this side because this will eventually wear off and this ink can transfer to your cardstock. I always use the pointed end and that gives me the best crease. So that's just my tip. So that's all there is to folding, scoring and folding. Isn't that easy? But it's so super cute. I love this. I love it. So there's your cutting and scoring. Now let's look at decorating. We have the 2 pieces that I showed you earlier. I selected that pattern for the sides and this pattern for the center. I think I'm going to use that one. So here are the dimensions for the side pieces, the 2 pieces. They're 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. That's these 2. Then let's bring in this piece. And so in the middle, we are doing, this one is 2 by 5 1/4. Don't worry about this part yet. I'll just cover that for now. That we're going to talk about that in a minute. So those are your 3 pieces that you need to cut. 2 of them at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And if you want to put a piece in the center, I'm going to show you an alternate without that. But if you want a piece in the center, it's the 2 by 5 1/4. Okay. I don't mean to keep like belaboring it, but I just want to make sure that it makes sense and that you have a minute to digest that information. So I'm using Seal Plus. I'm just a super huge fan of Seal Plus. I love it. You can use Seal, you can use your liquid glue, you can use whatever makes you happy. I just like Seal Plus. It's my favorite. Okay, let's put that piece in the center. And I will show you an alternate without this center piece. You don't have to put designer paper there. So how cute is that? You could like basically put a little circle with a greeting and call that done, couldn't you? It is just so cute. And I know you're thinking, wait, where do you write? Okay, you have the whole backside to write your message or stamp happy birthday or whatever you would like, right? So you have the whole backside. Don't worry about the greeting or the message. So that's the first part. So there you go. See? Easy. Now let's do this adorable focal point. This is where I can go over the mistake with you in the brochure. Okay, so if you've already received your catalog from me, oh, hang on, there's a question. How do you keep the cardstock from catching and pulling up on the Seal Plus? The cardstock from catching and pulling up on the Seal Plus. Do you mean, Vicky is asking, like when I do this, when I'm rolling it on? I know sometimes some cardstock, and I don't know if this has to do with moisture. I'm really not sure because this doesn't happen very often. Maybe 1 in like 20 times, or maybe not even that often. Sometimes it will like pull, separate the cardstock fibers, and it will stick to this. And I don't know the rhyme or reason. It doesn't happen often, and I really don't know, other than flip your cardstock the other direction and it should fix that. But I'm not sure what that's about. Vicki, I don't have a super great answer. Yeah, okay, so it rips. So I understand you, and I think you understand. I don't know why, but all you have to do is just flip your cardstock and then go the other way, and it usually fixes that issue. Okay, so back to the Sale-a-Bration brochure. So if you already have this from me, I want you to flip to page 3, and that's where you're going to see this Paper Blooms paper that we're working with. And on that page, it says that this paper coordinates with the Pretty Perennials bundle. So let me show you that bundle. It's got an adorable stamp set, which we're actually using for our greeting. And then it has these dies. And so I thought, oh, okay, so these flowers must cut out these flowers. That must be what they're talking about. But then I was looking more on page 3, and I noticed that the dies and the flowers that they show are actually from this set, from Pierced Blooms. And so this is a bundle. It's called the In Bloom bundle. And you can see it's a different stamp set and it's a different set of dies. So this, I believe, is a mistake in the catalog. Yes, you can definitely use this with this paper. But if you want it to turn out the way that they were showing it, with the cute little stitched flowers and leaves, this is the bundle that is actually used on the samples on page 3. So it's not really that one thing is right or wrong or better, but if you want it to look like they did it, it's this one. So kind of like little interesting facts there, right? It was a little confusing to me, but I'll show you what I did. So on my Pierced Blooms, I just took my paper. I think this is the one I used the most. And I just took my dies and I moved them around and I said, okay, let's see. So that lines up like perfectly to cut that one. Let's see, did I use this one? That's got 4. Oh, here, this one. So the one with 5 petals lines up perfectly on that one. This one also will cut here, this one or this one. And then the leaves, you can cut out the leaves on this piece. You can cut out the leaves and the flowers on this piece. On, let's see, I think this one is, well, the smaller flowers will work on this one. I did not use that. I did put these leaves on all of these green circles. I'll show you in a second. And I also die cut off of this piece. So it's really up to you what flowers or leaves you would like to cut. And look, how cute. How cute, how cute. All of these cutenesses came out of just, like, I hardly used any. Let me show you. So here's what your piece is going to look like after you start die cutting. And this is what I meant when I said I cut the leaves out of the green circles. And you can see I also cut flowers out of the colors. So I used almost every sheet, every pattern to make all this cuteness. But I did use this Pierced Blooms die set. So it's not the one they recommend, but it's the one they used, and I liked it, and so I used it. So, okay, was that like way too much information? I just wanted to be clear. I didn't want you to be confused if you got that and you said, wait, hang on, this doesn't look like what they did. So here's our sample, and I'm just going to recreate a couple of little parts for you so that you can see. I stamped using, this is the one they recommended, so that's what I got out and I started stamping. So that's why we're stamping with it. Happy and Birthday out of Pretty Perennials. And I am going to, you know what I found? Here's a tip for you. This is the Stamparatus 8x8 grid paper pad. Instead of stamping my test stamp on here, I just brought this out and I found it does two things for me. I can test out my stamp, but it also acts as a cushion when you have these photopolymer stamps. So rather than getting out the Stampin' Pierce mat, I have found that I just like having this handy to do my test stamping, and it gives me a really nice image with the photopolymer images. So that's just a little tip for you. I just closed my thumb in the ink pad. Seriously? I don't think I've ever done that before. Wow. That was coordinated. Oh, that was Rococo Rose, by the way. And this is Misty Moonlight. I was going to say Midnight Muse. That color hasn't been around in a while, has it? Somehow my brain wants to keep saying all the old color names, and I really don't know why. Yeah, I was going to say Island Indigo the other day. In fact, I did say it, and I meant to say Pretty Peacock. Whatever. So there we go. We have our stamping done, and then I just started layering just 2 sheets of paper. Hang on. I have a bunch of questions that just went by. Let me answer these for you. Okay. Oh, good. So it wasn't confusing. That was helpful. Awesome. 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 Okay. Now there's a couple of questions. So on the Happy stamp, you are not using any pad, just 2 sheets of paper. I have this whole pad under there. It's the 8x8 Stamparatus mini grid paper that's available. That's what I was using underneath when I stamped. Does that help? Let's see. And will this be, yeah, all of my live videos stay on this live tab or video tab on my Facebook business page where you are watching live right now. All of my videos are archived there. Tomorrow, December 19th, the replay will be here on my blog, and I will also put it on my YouTube channel. So I always give you 3 places where you can see all of my videos. Okay, good. Thank you. I think that answered the questions. You know, if I missed your question, could you hang on to your questions for just a tiny bit, and I will come back to them. Sometimes I get super distracted, and it's easier for me to go back and look later at your questions. All right. So to decorate, I just started to lay out my flowers, and let's see, I think maybe we need that color up there. And I was thinking about layering like that. Isn't that cute? I like that. And then I had, gosh, my leaves kind of stayed in there, didn't they? I have those leaves from the green circles. I know my colors. I really, truly, honestly do. Okay. And I just sort of laid out what I liked. But then the one thing you need to be aware of is when you fold this up and when you're going to put it in the envelope, you can't have things sticking too far out. So don't go too far beyond the limits if you're going to. Oh, and I should have said, these are from the Stitched So Sweetly. I like to have a packet of each size of them handy because I use these a lot in my customer thank you cards. And so I love having a little stack of those handy. And this is not the largest one, but the next to the largest, scalloped from Stitched So Sweetly. So this leaf then I think is probably going to stick out too far. So what I think I'll do is swap it out for a little bit smaller, and we'll do that. And then probably this leaf is going to be able to tuck down here. And I think that would make a cute arrangement to put on the front of that card. So then when you do that, you'd probably want to use some dimensionals if you want to add a little lift, or you could just use adhesive or glue dots and glue that right on. And then, so you can see that sticks over, okay? And you're only attaching it just right behind there. And then to finish it off, we have these really gorgeous new pearls. They are called Pastel Pearls. And you can see I used this sort of a light blue silvery color, and I added those as some centers. Aren't they pretty? Oh, so pretty. And it just goes perfectly with the Seaside Spray cardstock, don't you think? The size, let's measure it. So let me tell you here. So it is about 3.5 by, hang on, by 2 2.25, 2 3/8. That is the size of this, but hang on. So I wanted to show you these extra measurements. So hang on just 1 second, Louise, and I'll show you another idea and give you more measurements for this piece if you don't have this die. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you. I'm glad you like the card. Alrighty, so let's look at some other ideas using this same fold, same dimensions and different sets, and I'll show you that alternative for the center. So I want to show you what this is for. Here is a card I did with the new Well Suited suite. Isn't this cute? Same idea. Okay, same exact fold, same measurements out here for the designer paper. But instead of putting designer paper on this centerpiece, I left it so that I could stamp, because I really liked how Kathy had done this on this sample that I was using for my inspiration. So I stamped Happy Birthday to You, and then this is where I would sign it. And then this is part of the set, isn't this cute, to one of the world's greatest dads. And I did 3 of the little bow ties from the same designer paper as this piece. So this right here in the center is this. So if you don't have a die that will work for the center focal piece, here's what I used. And you can make this any size. It doesn't have to be this size. But the white is 2 3/4 by 3.5. And then the matted piece, which in this case is Misty Moonlight, is 1/4 inch larger each way, 3 by 3 3/4. Okay. Let's see. Louise is asking, are the pieces, the flowers and the flowers cut from the dies? Yes, I was showing that. All these flowers are using, where did I set it? Hang on. Oh, here. The Pierced Blooms dies and this paper that we're talking about called Paper Blooms. So you can see here that, yes, and I showed you all the different sheets that I cut the flowers out of and how those line up. If you missed that, Louise, you can go back and watch the replay and look at all the samples that I was showing with the flowers. Okay, so there's an alternate design with new product. Here's one more with new product. No way. Why does the phone ring with every live video? Honest to goodness, I am so sorry. It will stop ringing in a minute. I'm really sorry. Anyway. Yeah, it's a spam call. Okay, so here is some other new product, And this paper, let me get you the official name and I'll tell you the page. In the Sale-a-Bration catalog, page 10, this is called Flower and Field paper. So I loved the black background so that it's not like too busy. I think that black helps subdue it, but I really loved that. And then this center focal piece, same dimensions as here for the white and the daffodil matte, but I used some stamps from the new mini catalog and the berries, strawberries and the flowers. And then I also used, let me get you the official name, on page 14 in the Sale-a-Bration catalog, the Berry Blessings stamp set. I've combined both of those sets because they coordinate really well together. And you might be thinking, well, why didn't I use the berry paper? Because I wasn't actually going to use the berries at first. And then I thought, you know what? This all looks really good together. So I just combined all of that. And I love that the fonts in the two different stamp sets coordinate so well. Isn't that fun? So there you go. So there's a fun berry one. Here's a fun Father's Day or birthday, depending on what greeting you use, using the Well Suited. And then here is a sample using some new flowers. So 3 different samples for you. They will be on pattystamps.com on Saturday, December 19th, if you're looking for the measurements, the details, and all of that. And I hope you like those. I think this is super awesome. I love this fold. And I love that it just fits right into a regular size envelope. I think that's fabulous. Because anytime you can avoid extra postage or larger envelopes or waiting in line at the post office or whatever, I think that's always a bonus. All right. The measurements for scoring. Okay, we did that at the beginning. So here they are. I'll put them back on the screen. There you go. And you can also check that out tomorrow on my blog. Or you can watch the replay if you would like to do that. Oh, yes. Let me show you that. So Stacy is asking about on my paper trimmer. I did add this. This was on Amazon and let me think about what the exact name of this was. I can't think of what I Googled or not Googled, but searched. It's an adhesive ruler. And I put it up here. I'll show you why. Because when you go to put your paper here to measure, you've covered up the measurements. And, you know, in general, I think Stampin' Up! Is just spot on all their products. But it really bothered me that I was covering up the measurements. So I put this on there so that I could see like where 4 or 4 1/4 or yeah. So I did that. Now here's a note. You'll notice that this is basically a backwards ruler. If you just search for a self-adhesive ruler, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So make sure you type in reverse or backwards or some kind of keyword. So do you see what I mean? That this is actually measuring backwards. But yes, I did add that. It was not expensive. It was a couple dollars on Amazon, but it's just for my own sanity. I just like that better. So I forgot about that. I did that, but thank you for asking about that so that I could. Okay, the pierced blooms are in the In Bloom bundle. And so it's the Pierced Blooms dies and the In Bloom stamp set. And it is in this catalog. And hang on, I can't open it on camera, but I'll tell you what page. Because I can only open it over here. And In Bloom, hang on, I'm almost there, is on page 45 in that catalog. And they have all the adorable little stitch marks. And it's just so cute. I love all the stitching that comes when you die cut those. Super cute. Super fun. Any other questions? Let's see. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed this. I just want to go over one more time. I hope that you've enjoyed the Friday lives that we've been crafting together. And I will not be going live next Friday, Christmas, or the Friday after that, New Year's Day. But I am going to jump in on the 5th when these products are launched to customers. And I will be showing you some more products and samples on the 5th. So just make sure that you watch my business page for when I go live. I will be posting there when they are live. And you can always watch the replays here, or my YouTube channel is the same thing, YouTube/pattystamps. You can find about 400 videos there. I always put all the replays there. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year to all of you. Let's see. So Jerry, I went over all of that information. If you want to watch the replay, I explained the mistake in the catalog where they suggest buying this Pretty Perennials, but it's actually the pierced blooms, the in bloom, that coordinates with this paper and is the paper that they used to make the samples with this Paper Blooms paper. So if you watch the replay, you'll catch all of that. Thank you so much, everyone. So glad you enjoyed this. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you joining me on Fridays. I have fun crafting with you. I hope you have fun watching, and I hope you've learned a few things along the way. So, oh, good. Oh, Shan, you got them. Yay. Yes. I mailed 800 catalogs with the help of my sweet husband, with lots of stickers and stuffing and address labels and all of that. So yay, Shan just got them. Thank you, Shan. Yay. Oh, thank you, everyone. So glad that you have joined and have enjoyed. I will see you in 2021 here live again, but please check this page every day for more tips and ideas and samples. Check my blog each day as well, and we will have more fun crafting as the weeks go on. I will see you all soon, and happy holidays to all of you. Thank you.